From time to time, I believe in the past 16 months, there have been 4 occasions that I have spoken. Only 4. And of those 4, I have never spoken as a liaison. Matter of fact, in the issue that Mr. Doherty has referenced in his excerpts, which, may I point out, are so incredible. This is not an actual transcript.
It is, sir.
Madam President.
It is a certified transcript by a court stenographer.
No, Madam President, if I can reference it, it is a certified excerpt from the transcript.
From the certified transcript.
They are excerpts. And when I say excerpts, Madam President, it is not line by line what has transpired. Matter of fact, there were areas that were taken out. There were areas that the entire thing is not in here, Madam President.
That's not true, Mr. Blais. That is plain and simply untrue. This is a transcript that I specifically requested because of my grave concern over what you were attempting to do before the board on March 11th of 2008. Mr. D'Angelo is a certified court reporter who attests under an affidavit on this thing.
Madam President, I believe I was still speaking.
So that's this. I feel like you should be.
Madam President, I was still speaking.
Continue, Mr. Blais.
Thank you, Madam President. On that particular day, there was a lot of things that I noted that were missing. Specifically, when I had some concerns in regards to the aquifer overlays on that property. I supported the property and the zoning of that, verbally got up as a taxpayer in January of 2007. Again, as a taxpayer in March of 2008, I got up and spoke a second time. Again, supporting it. Within that window, that time frame of 14 months, I have become intimately familiar through actions of the town with the importance of the aquifer overlay districts and the important part that they play in protecting the drinking water supply of all of the residents in this town. I did bring up the concerns that I had in regards to that. I did ask questions such as, has a building permit ever been requested? You won't find that in the transcript because that excerpt was removed. When it became apparent to me in my discussion of the matter as a taxpayer, never as a liaison, it was asked by Mr. Doherty violently as I reviewed videotape afterwards, and he began questioning me. He asked if I am speaking as a liaison, and I said, no, I'm not. Well, this seems to resemble concerns that the town is engaged in with you, and I indicated that I have become, again, intimately familiar with the aquifer zoning and the important part that it plays. Mr. Doherty began to question me. I asked him if he'd like to put his questions together, I would kindly respond to them. I was never given the opportunity to respond. However, what transpired from that point is where it became absolutely obscene. I noticed that the applicant and on the approved variance of this particular item, that there were conditions on it. Conditions that are found on most variances. That a building permit is required and you have to take action as a result of that building permit within a certain time frame. I pointed out that they could not even request to modify this because of the simple fact that the variance had expired. Mr. Doherty then began to argue that they had 2 months left. Again, I couldn't find that in the excerpts either. That section somehow mysteriously disappeared as well.
It's a conspiracy, isn't it, Mr. Blais?
No, it's not.
It's a conspiracy. That's what you're saying.
Madam President.
Mr. Blais, will you finish your statement, sir? You were going to be brief, I will remind you.
And then I will begin my questioning. Yeah.
Well, please be brief with your statement.
At which point, Mr. Doherty began to argue that a year had not in fact lapsed, but rather there was 2 months remaining. That January, in fact, comes after March. I did take at the time to point out to Mr. Doherty that January, in fact, comes after, before March, and that the variance had, in fact, expired. I've had the pleasure of serving on only one zoning board. Additionally, I have attempted to serve the town in any capacities I can. I'm absolutely dumbfounded by the letter that was received by you from Mr. Cloutier, indicating that the entire board felt this way, that his board was not going to tolerate this. If I can remind not only this council, but Mr. Doherty and Mr. Cloutier, it is not his board. It's a public body. There to serve the public. And when I point out the fact that the variance had in fact expired, Mr. Doherty became absolutely violent and instructed that there be no more opportunity for comment by me, and
Did
indicated...
you have the videotape that was being played that night, Mr. Blais? Because I don't think the videotape that you had going on at the back of the room that night would show anything like that. And on top of that, the videotape that you had playing
Madam
would contain
President.
these missing...
Madam
He didn't
President.
interrupt you. Have some respect.
I will have this room cleared.
I'm
I
sure
do
you
not
will, because
need
the public's
anything
not
from this.
welcome.
I'm sorry, the public is very welcome. The outbursts are not, ma'am.
He doesn't have an outburst in it.
Ma'am, please.
It has
Mr.
to apply
Doherty.
to everyone.
It will, please.
If I may continue now, Madam President. I think this whole matter is more than just unfortunate. The zoning board has never once recognized my attendance at a single meeting as a, I realize that the majority of the people on that board are probably not people who voted for me. And I can understand the fact that they know that I'm a person who has a tendency to be involved, support the taxpayers, and I can understand where they may be uneasy. But for Mr. Cloutier to make a statement that the board has in fact found themselves uneasy, when in fact I've attended all the meetings, and the board has never taken a vote that I know of. Mr. Cloutier says there were many times. I can assure you there were not. There is no indication that there was many times. When, where, how, why, it doesn't exist. The members never took a vote. I was never, ever disruptive. At two occasions that I can recall, and only 2 occasions, and I have a pretty good memory in the past 16 months, I did bring up a point of order. The point of order, first time, was over a year ago, when the board was approving their minutes, and I noted that there was a discrepancy. The dates were inaccurate. I simply brought the point of order to the chair. He recognized the point. I brought to his attention that the date was inaccurate. He thanked me for my participation. The date was amended, and the meeting went on. The only other time that I brought a point of order was when, throughout my 16 months as liaison, it appears to have been the policy, as it has been stated emphatically over and over and over, that all the documents need to remain in the permanent record. When that appeared not to happen, I simply brought up a point of order. When the chairman indicated he was not going to take a point of order and there would be no comment received whatsoever, I didn't respond. There was no further response after Mr. Cloutier stated that. Additionally, another individual spoke, another taxpayer. Mr. Cloutier acknowledges him, much to my disbelief. So when Mr. Cloutier makes statements such as, I have been abusing my power, Madam President, I would be happy to get the same benefit as any other taxpayer, let alone abuse my power. At no time have I ever spoken from the position of liaison.